Spring break is on.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying. You know, we've been waiting for Miami spring break for a while. About 2 months we've had this trip planned. 2-3 months. So we're just out here having a good time. Whatever happens, happens. With the bars being closed, you know, we'll find alternatives. Unfortunately, it does suck that the bars and restaurants are closed, but we'll find ways to have fun.
Like, it's really messing up with my spring break. What is there to do here other than go to the bars or the beach, and they're closing all of it? It's really messing up. I think they're blowing it way out of proportion. I think it's doing way too much.
We're going to enjoy ourselves. We having day parties all day. It's my birthday, St. Patrick's Day. Turn up.
We're just trying to have the best trip we can. We're just trying to make with what we have right now.
You're doing us bad. We need a refund. This virus ain't that serious.
I don't know, but like I paid for this trip, and I believe, like, think about it. Like, if you're elderly and you're like more susceptible to risk, and we should be staying inside, but like spring break's once a year, like.
Well, they just said the University of Florida had 4 students that got tracked.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, like, it's not okay, but like we're not really at risk of dying necessarily.
Well, hopefully,
yeah. Elderly and all them are more at risk. So then just have them stay inside. Like, I mean, if they had to come out, like,
just
to the beaches, because like, we're at the beaches and stuff, but you could avoid the beaches.
All these youthful, energetic urges we all know we've had in the past, and maybe still do. The perfect opportunity to get together and express those carnal urges with each other. Is it important? Well, no, not in the big scheme of things. Is it a rite of passage? For some. Is it fun? Absolutely. I mean, what could possibly be more fun than drinking a beverage from someone's butt crack? I certainly can't think of anything. And that's why I don't blame these kids for not caring about COVID-19. They're young. They've been told it only affects old people. I don't think they would even care if it was like an Ebola-type outbreak. I think they would just go for it. Fun, sex, booze. At that age, it's unfortunately worth more than a lot of things to them. So what we have to do really is talk about whose responsibility it is. Who allowed this to happen? And it's quite clear that it was the individual city mayors and the governor, and then obviously our president. Let's see what Florida Governor Ron DeSantis had to say. We've seen some big crowds on the west coast of Florida, and I've had a chance to speak to mayors on both coasts today, DeSantis said. If they want to continue to leave the beach open, we want them to have the freedom to do that. But we also want them to have the freedom to do more if they see fit. So look, I'm here in San Francisco observing a shelter in place for 3 weeks. And it kind of seems as if we know these things at this point, right? I mean, let's look at Singapore. Let's look at Taiwan, China, South Korea. These are countries that have gone through this type of thing before with SARS. And they had a plan in place. When you see a pathogen like this, you just lock it down. You lock it down. That's the most important thing to do right away. Lock it down. You forget everything else. And it's not just that dictatorships get this right. I think in Singapore you can get arrested for throwing gum on the ground for littering or something like that. And China, we know they can be pretty tough. But South Korea and Taiwan, no, they did it because they also knew what it would cost them to deal with this farther down the line. And they were far more efficient and better prepared to take care of it right away. Unfortunately, the rest of us, mostly Western countries, are learning that hard lesson right now. It's better to learn it now than never. But what is so amazing to me is the difference between how much the individual states in the U.S. have been left to their own devices, to make up their own minds. And it's showing. While here in the Bay Area, we have 5 or 6 counties under shelter-in-place orders. Pretty strict, but I absolutely think it's the correct response. And then we've got long lines of older people on Tuesday voting in states with reduced polling places, congregating together and sometimes waiting around for hours to vote. It's absolutely embarrassing to me that we didn't suspend all primaries immediately and move each state to vote by mail. It just kind of blows my mind that we can have this difference in response between all of these different places. It seems irresponsible. So back to our fun-loving friends. Maybe most of them will be fine, and maybe after that 5th shot of butt crack sauce and getting their cherry popped in the bathroom of a $50 motel room, it will be worth it to them in the end. But this is serious, folks. And if that teenager goes back from the beach and gives grandma a hug and kiss on the cheek, who knows what might happen? No more $5 in an envelope for your birthday. So please be responsible. You can do the right thing, even if your local government or our leadership from the top has no clear directive to protect our safety. Thanks.